Part 1. My name's Jake. 38. I've got a 9 to 5 that turned into a 6 to whenever because bills don't care if you're tired. Married to Elizabeth for 8 years. American dream, right? House with a yard. Dog that hates the mailman. 2 kids who can make a mess faster than a tornado in a trailer park. I thought I had it all. Or at least enough to make the struggle feel like it was worth it. Elizabeth used to smile like I was the only man on earth. We'd sit on the porch in the summer with a cold beer, her feet in my lap, talking about dreams like we still believed in them. She said she loved me every night before bed, like it was a prayer she never wanted to forget. And I believed it. Like a fool. A happy fool. But things started to change. At first, it was just little things. Her phone, once left around the house like an abandoned sock, suddenly never left her side. Her laughter got quieter around me, louder around her screen. She said she was tired all the time, too tired for dinner, too tired to talk, too tired for us. Then came the night that rewired my brain. It was a Friday. I came home early, decided to surprise her with takeout and a movie like we used to do when life was simpler and rent was cheaper. She wasn't expecting me. I stepped inside, and I swear, the air shifted. She jumped when I came in. Not startled like someone caught napping. More like a raccoon busted in the pantry. "Oh, you're home," she said. No smile. Just wide eyes and a voice that didn't match her face. "Yeah, figured I'd give work the finger and take the night off." Surprise. She nodded, and that's when I noticed it. Her phone screen lit up face down on the counter. Just a flash of a name. Nick. Not a family member. Not a coworker. And definitely not someone she ever mentioned. I reached for it without thinking. Old instincts. She grabbed it fast, like I was reaching for a weapon. "Don't go through my phone," she snapped. I sharp, like a woman who'd build a wall brick by damn brick. "What?" I laughed, trying to make it a joke. I was just moving it. She didn't laugh. She just turned and walked out of the kitchen. I stood there like a man who just got smacked with a slow-moving train. Something wasn't right. I felt it in my bones. But my brain? Oh no, it was trying its hardest to play dumb. She's probably stressed. Maybe Nick's her boss. Maybe it's nothing. I wanted to believe that. I needed to believe that. Because believing the other thing? That she was cheating? That made me feel like the last 8 years had been a lie. Like I'd been writing love letters to a ghost. But denial is a hell of a drug. And I took the hit. The weekend passed. Cold. Stiff. She was on edge. I was quiet. We didn't touch. She said she had a girls' night planned for next Friday, needed to blow off some steam. I nodded like it was normal. Like I wasn't drowning in my own silence. That week, I watched. I listened. I noticed things I'd been blind to before. She dressed up more often, laughed harder when she texted, made excuses to stay out later. Her perfume lingered longer in the air, and not once did it linger for me. And then Friday came. She left around 8 p.m., said they were going to some bar downtown. Her eyes didn't meet mine. Her lips barely brushed my cheek. I sat in the living room with a beer and a stomach full of suspicion. I didn't want to be that guy, the jealous husband, the paranoid one. But something inside me was clawing to the surface. Something that refused to die. So I did what I never thought I'd do. I followed her. Just a little-tailed job. I stayed back far enough, didn't make it obvious. She parked her car near a dimly lit bar. Not the kind of place you go for gossip and margaritas. No other girls in sight. Just her. Alone. She stepped inside. I waited 10 minutes, then went in. And what I saw changed everything. She was at the bar. Smiling. Laughing. With a man. Mid-40s. Cocky look. Tall. Tan. Like a damn Abercrombie model that got bored with modeling and decided to ruin lives instead. He touched her arm. She didn't flinch. He whispered something, and she leaned into him. Like I never existed. Like our marriage was a page she ripped out of her book and tossed into a bonfire. I left before I did something stupid. Got home. Sat in silence. Bottle of whiskey in my hand. Dog looking at me like, "You good, man?" I wasn't. But I wasn't broken yet either. That night, I made a decision. If she wanted to treat me like I was blind, I'd play along. But I'd play smarter. I'd collect my pieces. Build my case. This was the beginning of the end. But I'd make damn sure she'd never forget how it ended. Part 2. I didn't sleep that night. I just stared at the ceiling, letting the silence crawl all over me. Whiskey did its part, numbing the edges, but the center still burned. Her laughter with that man echoed in my ears like a curse I couldn't unhear. I could have stormed into that bar, screamed, made a scene. But what would that have changed? I needed more than a flash of betrayal. I needed truth. Cold. Hard. Undeniable. Saturday morning, she came back smelling like cheap cologne and better lies. I was already at the kitchen table, drinking black coffee that tasted like ash. How was girls' night? I asked, keeping my tone light. She blinked, lips parting just enough to fake surprise. Oh, it was good. We went to that new rooftop place. You know, the one Melissa wouldn't shut up about. I nodded, pretending to believe her. Melissa? Huh? I'd seen her text Melissa before once or twice, but nothing recent. I scrolled through her socials on my phone, casual as ever. No check-ins. No photos. No stories. Just silence. She sipped her coffee, her eyes darting everywhere but mine. You okay? Long week, I said, rubbing my temple. She nodded, gave me a soft smile like a nurse visiting a coma patient, and walked off. The woman I used to know would have kissed my forehead and asked what was really wrong. This one just needed me to keep not asking questions. I started digging. First, it was the basics, checking our shared phone plan. Late at night, while she showered or scrolled through TikTok in the bathroom. That's when I saw the pattern. Same number. Over and over. Always after 10 p.m. Sometimes for 10 minutes. Sometimes for an hour. Nick. I Googled the number. Nothing. But I saved it in my phone, just in case. Next, I accidentally offered to do her laundry. It used to be my thing, once upon a time. She hesitated. Told me she already did it. I insisted, said I didn't mind. Buried in a hoodie pocket was a receipt. Not for the rooftop bar. For a hotel. Downtown. One of those modern boutique spots that caters to affairs and business trips. The timestamp? Friday night. Check-in at 8:47 p.m., check-out at 12:09 a.m. I stared at it like it might change if I looked long enough. Like maybe it would rewrite itself into something innocent. But lies don't do magic. They just multiply. Sunday, she baked cookies with the kids like nothing was wrong. She danced to pop songs in the kitchen, laughing when flour hit her nose. I watched from the doorway, arms crossed, wondering how someone could be so many people at once. A mother. A wife. A stranger. That night, I saved the number she kept calling under a fake name, Mark. I texted him from a burner app. Me. You don't know me, but I think you know my wife. No answer. I tried again the next morning. Me. You were with her Friday night at the bar on 5th. Just wanted to let you know, she's married. 2 kids. Thought you should hear it from someone. Still silence. Cowards don't like daylight. By Tuesday, I couldn't fake it anymore. She kissed me goodbye like it was a routine, not a ritual. I let her go to work, then stayed home. And I called in sick. And I followed her again. Not to a bar this time. To a park. Lunch break. I parked a few cars away and watched. And sure enough, he showed up. Same guy. Tall, arrogant swagger. Aviator sunglasses like he was trying too hard to be invisible. They didn't kiss. But they sat close. Talked. She laughed like she used to with me. He touched her knee. That was enough. That night, I waited until the kids were asleep. She was brushing her hair in front of the mirror when I walked in. I saw you today, I said. She paused, just for a second. Then kept brushing. What do you mean? At the park. With him. Brush stopped mid-stroke. Jake. I know about the hotel, I added, stepping closer. The phone calls. The bar. The name Nick. She turned, her face a war zone, fear, guilt, irritation all crashing together. It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is. He's just someone I met. I needed to talk to someone. I've been unhappy. You come home late. You barely look at me. You think that justifies this? No. She stood, voice shaking. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just did. Did what, Elizabeth? Say it. Silence. Her lips trembled. I kissed him. I shook my head, laughing bitterly. Kissed. Right. It didn't go further than that. I swear. Then why the hotel? No answer. Why the texts every night? Still nothing. The lies, Elizabeth. The cover stories. Melissa? The rooftop bar? What was the plan there? Just hope I never caught on. Tears welled in her eyes, but I was too far gone to care. You think crying fixes this? I made a mistake, she whispered. No. A mistake is forgetting our anniversary. This is a choice you made over and over. She stepped forward. I stepped back. I need space, I said, voice low. And don't insult me by denying what we both know. She nodded slowly. Where are you going? I'm not going anywhere. Yet. But I'm not pretending anymore. You don't get to gaslight me in my own house. She turned away, wiping her face. I walked out, the echo of her sobs chasing me down the hallway like shadows. In the days that followed, she tried to mend things with kind gestures and half-truths. I didn't take the bait. I slept on the couch. I picked up the kids from school. I stayed quiet. But inside, I was planning. I started documenting everything. Screenshots. Receipts. Notes. If this ended in court, I wanted the truth to scream louder than her excuses. I wasn't a man falling apart. I was a man putting himself back together, piece by piece, without her. And if she thought the worst was over, she hadn't seen anything yet. Part 3. The thing about truth is, once you taste it, you can't go back to pretending lies are just misunderstandings. You can't know what your gut already whispered to you in the dark when you were lying awake beside someone who had already left you without ever walking out the door. That Saturday morning, I woke up with the kind of clarity you only get after staring into the abyss and deciding not to fall in. Elizabeth was still asleep, phone clutched tight beneath her pillow like she was hiding the key to a safe I already had the combination to. I didn't touch it. Not yet. I didn't need a single deleted message to confirm what I'd already seen with my own 2 eyes. The touch, the smiles, the way her whole body leaned toward that man like I was the ghost in the room. But I needed proof. Real, solid, courtroom-worthy truth. Not for her. For me. So I started digging. First, I checked our shared cell phone bill. It was a mess of numbers and dates, but a few stood out. One number repeated almost daily. I ran it through a lookup tool. It was listed under a Nicholas Barrett, with a work address that belonged to a trendy architectural firm downtown. Sounded about right. He looked like the type who'd use words like bespoke and aesthetic and get praised for it. Next, I went to the tech store and dropped a few hundred on gear. Hidden cameras, voice recorders, a second phone for mirroring hers. Yeah, I did all the cliché paranoid husband stuff. But when you're being played like a fiddle, sometimes you've got to become the violin maker. That night, I waited for her to fall asleep, then cloned her phone using a device that looked like something out of a spy movie. I mirrored her messages, call logs, even the stupid gif she sent. My hands were shaking the whole time. The first message from Nick came in the next morning. Last night was insane. I can still taste you. Counting the hours. And her reply? You're bad. But I like bad. Can't wait to see you again. Same room next Friday. I read those 2 lines 100 times, each pass slicing deeper than the last. There was no code to crack. No innocent interpretation. Just raw, ugly confirmation that my wife wasn't just bored, she was invested. Emotionally. Physically. Repeatedly. Still, I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wanted to know everything. When it started. How far it went. If it was just him. If there were others. The kind of questions you don't want to ask, but can't stop yourself from needing the answers to. The camera in our bedroom caught her on the phone with him 3 days later, whispering while I was at work. He has no clue, babe. He still kisses me like I'm his world. It's almost sweet, if it wasn't so pathetic. That one gutted me. Not just because of the betrayal, but because of the tone. The dismissal. Like I was a pet she was tolerating until she could rehome me. That night I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling while she breathed softly beside me. The same lips that called me pathetic were still red from kissing someone else. The same hands that held my children had tangled in another man's sheets. And I thought, she thinks I'm a joke. I made a plan. I printed the texts, screenshots, photos from the security cam. I collected everything in a folder I labeled closure. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to cry. I was going to present her with the evidence like a lawyer handing the jury their final nail in the coffin. But I wasn't done yet. I needed to know who he was. Really. What he had that I didn't. So I did what any scorned husband with too much time and too much pain would do. I followed him. On Thursday night, I waited outside his office. I knew his schedule by now. Elizabeth made it easy by texting him her arrival times like a damn appointment. He was tall, smug, and walked like the world owed him a favor. He got into a sleek black Mercedes, probably leased. Everything about him screamed, look at me. And I wondered how long it would take before Elizabeth realized he was more costume than character. I tailed him to a hotel. 5 minutes later, Elizabeth's car pulled in. I didn't go inside. I didn't need to. I drove home in silence, gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles went white. I was beyond rage. I was cold. And when a man like me gets cold, he doesn't just leave. He plans. I started talking to a lawyer the next day. Quietly. Privately. I laid everything out, evidence, timeline, assets. The works. I wasn't about to let her slink away with the house I built or half my pension because she got bored of monogamy. I also started lining up witnesses. Friends who'd seen her behavior shift. Neighbors who noticed the comings and goings. Anything that painted the picture of a wife who betrayed without remorse. The pieces were falling into place. And I knew what was coming. Next Friday, I'd be waiting in that hotel room before she got there. Not to hurt her. Not even to yell. Just to end it the right way. Face to face. With receipts. And a smile. Part 4. It's amazing how calm a man can be when he's got nothing left to lose. Once love turns into evidence, into paper trails and hidden camera footage, the heart doesn't break anymore. It just hardens. Like cement poured over the grave of what once was. By the time Friday rolled around, every part of my plan was locked in place. The house was rigged with recorders. The bank accounts were protected. And Elizabeth, my wife, my traitor, was walking right into the fire without even smelling smoke. I took the day off work and met with my attorney one last time. Her name was Melissa Price, sharp as a scalpel and twice as precise. She didn't sugarcoat anything. "You've got her," she said, flipping through the thick file of texts, photos, timestamps, receipts. Judges don't like cheaters who lie to their spouse while screwing around in Marriott suites paid for with joint accounts. I nodded. I want everything I'm owed. The house. Primary custody. No alimony. If she wants to start over, she can do it without my money. Melissa smiled without warmth. She made this easy. Just follow through. That night, Elizabeth thought she was meeting Nick at the same hotel. What she didn't know was that the room was already mine, reserved under a fake name, paid in full, key already in my pocket. I got there first. Sat in a chair across from the bed, folder on my lap, camera already rolling. I had no intention of posting it online. This wasn't about humiliation. It was about truth. Her truth, caught in her own damn headlights. When she walked in, her heels clicked on the tile, and for a moment, she looked like the woman I married, dressed up, eyes sparkling, nervous laugh ready to bubble out. Then she saw me, and her face collapsed. "Jake." I didn't move. "Shut the door." She hesitated. I said, "Shut it." Click. Silence. She stood there, gripping her purse like it had the answers. I lifted the folder and set it on the bed. "What is this?" she asked, voice small. "Everything. Every lie. Every Friday. Every time you told me you were going out with friends and instead came here to fuck Nick." Her mouth opened, then closed. Caught like a child with a stolen cookie, only the cookie was another man's tongue down her throat. Jake, I didn't mean." "You did. And you still are. I'm done pretending I don't know." She took a step forward. I raised my hand. "No more words. You're going to sit there and listen. I'm not giving you the pleasure of a fight. I want you to understand how bad you messed up." And for the next 10 minutes, I laid it all out. Every detail. The cameras. The phone clone. The bank transfers. Her planning text with Nick. Her gossip about me. Mocking me for still being romantic and trying so hard. "You thought I was a joke," I said. "But the joke's over." I handed her a manila envelope. Inside? Divorce papers. Filed and ready. A full breakdown of the assets and how they were being split. My lawyer's letter. Court summons. Everything. You'll find it's very fair, all things considered. I'm keeping the house. I'm filing for custody. You can take your clothes and go stay with your mother. She started crying then, but it didn't move me. Not anymore. You cheated, Elizabeth. You brought this on yourself. You gambled everything on a fling with a man who, by the way, is married himself. She froze. That part she hadn't seen coming. "Yeah," I continued. "Didn't think I'd dig that deep, did you? His wife knows now too. I sent her the files yesterday. They have 2 kids. Enjoy explaining that." Her face went ghost white. I stood up, slow and deliberate. "You can leave now. Her security can help you out." She left. No apology. No redemption arc. Just the quiet click of the door as she walked out of my life, purse clutched like a shield against the hurricane she created. The next few days were surgical. I filed for temporary orders through Melissa, froze our joint accounts, restricted her from removing the kids without written consent, and scheduled a custody hearing. I also sent letters to both our families. No dramatics, just a statement of facts. She cheated. I have proof. We're divorcing. Please respect the process. Her parents were devastated. Her mother called crying. I didn't answer. Her father, on the other hand, sent a message that surprised me. "I'm sorry, Jake. She wasn't raised this way. We'll stay out of your path. You deserve better." I didn't expect it, but it was the first thing in weeks that didn't make me feel like I was crawling through glass. The fallout at her job came quick too. Turns out Nick wasn't just married. He was also her supervisor. When his wife exposed the affair to his company's ethics board, the dominoes started falling fast. Elizabeth was called in for an HR review, and by the end of the week, she was placed on unpaid leave pending investigation. I wasn't gloating. I was simply done letting her win in silence while I bled behind closed doors. For the first time in months, I could breathe. The house was quiet, sure. The kids asked where Mommy was, and I told them she was staying with Grandma for a while. I wasn't going to let her drag them through her mud. I picked up new routines, started going to the gym again, took the kids hiking, cooked actual meals instead of just heating leftovers. Even found myself smiling again, the kind that doesn't feel forced. The storm wasn't over. The legal war had just started, but she underestimated the one thing she never thought I'd grow: a spine made of stone. And now, I wasn't just Jake. I was the reckoning. Part 5. The day the divorce finalized, I didn't celebrate. I didn't pop champagne or light a cigar or go out with the boys. I sat at my kitchen table, the same table where Elizabeth and I used to plan vacations, talk about the kids, eat Sunday pancakes, and stared at the empty seat across from me. I just sat there. Not because I missed her, not because I wanted her back, but because I was acknowledging the battlefield, taking stock of the damage. What was lost? What was left? And what was mine again? The judge signed off on everything. Full physical custody of both kids. The house. My pension untouched. Her spousal support claim? Denied. The court said she demonstrated willful marital misconduct. That's legal code for you don't get paid to burn the house down. She walked out of that courtroom with nothing but her suitcase and a story nobody wanted to hear. Not her family. Not her friends. Not her job. Word spread fast. Nick's wife sent the footage to his company's board, and he was fired within the week. Apparently, HR frowned upon managers having hotel meetups on company time. Go figure. Elizabeth tried to paint me as vindictive. Said I ruined her life. Nah. She did that all by herself. I just took the blindfold off and let the chips fall. There was no apology, no closure talk, no handwritten letter begging forgiveness. Just silence. And silence, my friend, is a mercy compared to another lie from her lips. The kids adjusted faster than I thought. I kept our routines intact: school drop-offs, Saturday movie nights, pancakes with way too much syrup. I never badmouthed their mother in front of them. I didn't need to. Tom, does that work for you? They started asking less and less about her. I didn't gloat. I grieved. Not for her. For the man I used to be. The man who bent over backward to keep a sinking ship from going under while she was drilling holes in the hull. But something happened in that grief. I got hungry. Not for revenge. That part was done. For life. I dusted off old hobbies. Got back into photography. Took the kids on road trips. Picked up my guitar again. Started hitting the gym like it owed me money. And slowly, day by day, I stopped feeling like the guy who got cheated on, and started feeling like the man who walked through hell and came out fireproof. Women started noticing, but I wasn't in a rush. I wasn't looking to fall into another set of lies wrapped in lipstick and fake promises. I knew better now. There was one woman, Claire. Met her at the gym. She wasn't flashy. No perfect Instagram smile. Just real. A bit older than me. Divorced too. We talked between sets. Turned into coffee. Turned into walks. Turned into something that didn't hurt. No lies. No games. I didn't tell her everything at first. But one night, I laid it all out. The betrayal. The hotel. The divorce. The fallout. She didn't flinch. She just said, damn. That must have been hell. It was. But I survived it. Claire didn't try to fix me. She didn't offer some spiritual quote off a Pinterest board. She just showed up. Again and again. Quiet. Steady. Solid. And when she looked at me, she didn't see a victim. She saw a man who didn't stay down. Now, I sleep better. I laugh harder. The weight's gone. I don't scan every glance for betrayal. I don't second-guess every word. I don't beg for love. Because I don't need to anymore. I know what I bring to the table. I built this life back with my bare hands. Took every shattered piece, every insult, every whisper behind my back, and turned it into fuel. And now, when people look at me, they don't see a man who got cheated on. They see a man who burned the damn blueprint and built something better. Elizabeth? I don't hate her. I don't think about her. She's a lesson now, not a scar. Somewhere out there, She's probably still spinning stories, playing the victim, wondering why no one buys her act anymore. But that's her path. Mine? It's wide open. And this time, I'm walking it with eyes wide open, shoulders back, and no dead weight slowing me down. New beginnings aren't soft. They're brutal. They cost you everything, weaken you. But they leave you standing stronger than ever. And I'm still standing. Better than ever. The end.